I don't know.
I wish.
We'll find out. I don't remember this episode. We'll see. Anyway, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Smudcast number 780. What Baby Doll Taught Me. Guest spot featuring Mary Susan Mears, Batman, the animated series. That took up every single character of the title limit. And this is from Serum Lake. I don't know if we've ever covered this guy before. Apparently we have.
Lockup is the far right Batman.
Lockup.
Was I on for that?
No, you were not.
I don't remember. I barely remember that. We had some good, like, that was a good video. And then, like, near the end, it went, uh-oh. It didn't sound very good. Anyway, this video came out in March of this year. It has about 15,000 views. And, yeah, it's only about 7 minutes long. Should not take long. I don't know what he's going to say. I barely remember the episode. I only remember the ending. And I don't know. Like, everyone has a little take on diseases that are known, like this progeria that determines whether or not you progress through certain stages of puberty or at all. So this is the happier, prettier version of that. I don't think it's a real thing.
The fantastical version of a... It doesn't work like this.
No, it
Simply
doesn't.
said.
It does not. And there's lots of versions of how the body expresses itself pre and during and post these stages of your life. So this is the fun, exciting, quick way of how do we tell a criminal story about someone with this condition, and then we're going to throw on the psychological trappings of that person and how they came about and what their motivation is and all this wonderful stuff that Batman does well back in the day. I don't know if they go that deep in recent Batman, like Brave and the Bold. Probably not. It's a different style of Batman. So this was the classic stuff. This is what stuff I sort of remember. But honestly, I don't remember this episode very well. It's been a very long time.
I hate it.
You hate it? Okay.
It creeps me out, weeds me out, it disgusts me.
The one I did not like this episode was where, and this is all part of the animation, it's always fantasy in this regard, where she walks through the maze of mirrors and she sees different versions of herself. Obviously, that's not how it works, but in animation, you could do fun things. So it's like, all right, fair enough. It's
all metaphorical.
Exactly. So that's the beauty of animation. That was the joy of watching these 22-minute episodes that just had a great story to tell, tied it up with a little bow at the end, and then you went off and did your homework. So anyway, I think we're ready to go.
My channel will know that the make essays looking at the history and psychology of these poor twisted miscreants. But today I want to do something a little bit different and open the floor to my wife Mary, the co-host of our podcast Totally Shui, to share some of her thoughts about a Batman villain that speaks to her. She's going to talk about Baby Doll. Over to you, Mary.
Oh.
Mary Doll, a.k.a.
So he's not even going to talk about it. He's just going to go straight to her. That's interesting.
So this is one of the things with Warner Brothers, and then the Spawn comic does the same. Every time they draw the little kids like that, especially the girls, they always draw them with the skirt up that you see the undies. I do not know why. And these are the people
is a fictional
who complain about manga and anime. They do not take issue with this.
I think it's a style
it's confusing
from
me.
The Disneys when they drew like babies running around doing silly things, and they just sort of borrowed that idea. It's innocent, I think. So.
Do you know what kind of people worked at Disney?
Not the ones who express themselves through animating babies doing rambunctious things, hopefully.
There are a lot of names that they have a huge private drawings libraries online that are shared a lot by strange people.
Okay, strange people.
Okay.
Let's
so when Hollywood animation does these things, you can be assured it is not done out of innocence or look how cute. This is
All right. Fair enough.
that made her first appearance in Mary's episode, Baby Doll. She was born with the genetic disorder systemic hypoplasia.
Okay, is that a real thing? I have no idea. Let me go check. It is a real thing.
yes,
Describes.
but it doesn't manifest the same way.
Oh no, definitely not. Result of congenital problems, typically lifelong. The type and severity of problems associated with hypoplasia vary widely. Many different conditions can involve hypoplasia. All right, so it affects people differently. Oh wow, that is Jesus Christ. That is not the same. That is.
Told ya.
That is.
Don't look it up.
Do not check this out. This is going to scare you. So we get the happy version or the pretty version. All right.
In the world of being her age, when we meet her in Baby Doll, she's actually in her 30s. The character of Baby Doll is very interesting because she's not your average villain. In a way, Doll has regressed back into a child that feels abandoned and tries to go back to a better time. Her childlike appearance and speech set her apart from villains like the Joker and Catwoman.
Does she, though? Joker puts on a crazy act. She puts on a crazy act. Both are psychopaths.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. What is that guy's name? Scarface? The guy with that mannequin? There's all kinds of weird and wacky characters.
Oh God, what was his name?
He was the mobster who.
Yeah, was that? Yeah, I think Scarface. Yes.
Yeah, he was the mobster that the ventriloquist guy had a. He was just.
I like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
That was well done.
That's the kind of the cool stuff. Like it's the same idea with Batman characters and what was it? Not the guy we just saw the first frame of the video, the Clayface. Yeah, like they do these wonderful spins on what happens if you had a really bad day and your whole life went crazy and then you turn into a monster and now you have to deal with
Clocking. My favorite.
Clocking. Okay.
He only had one good episode and that was his first.
Oh. Okay.
But that was great.
Yeah, in the comics he's awesome, but not in the show. He's like, yeah, he's all right.
At times, the Joker does childish things, like throws tantrums and plays with toys. He doesn't play the part of a child the way Doll does. Doll presents herself as a child speaking and...
No, it's because that's the role she plays on camera, so she has no trouble just following that through. Also, when your body doesn't develop, what this happy version, this fantastical version of this condition also ignores is that the brain also would not actually develop if you would play this seriously in this version. But strangely enough, her body remains that of a toddler, but she is inside an adult, and that is deranged. That doesn't go together. That is all done for the story to work. Because really, she would be just a toddler. She would not have further developed mentally.
Yeah, I remember people with was it the 60s, the thalidomide babies, where women were taking thalidomide recommended by their doctor, and they ended up retarding the development of their children, and they had some minor deformities in the face, the ears. Some of them had bad hearing, this and that. But yeah, they pretty much developed to the stage of being a teenager, and that was about
we had a similar issue with Contagan over here, and well, we'll see what the next generations are gonna do after the great experiments of the last years.
and dressing like a little girl. Takes innocent childhood objects, like her doll and familiars, such as her henchmen that resemble the captain and Gilligan from Gilligan's Island, and weaponizes them.
They're henchmen. What do you mean she weaponizes them? They have guns.
Henchmen are weapons.
This sword is being weaponized. It's a sword, honey. What are you doing?
Also, I'm sure the Gilligan's Island reference is sheer coincidence.
Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a bit specific.
It is close, but I was like, eh.
Some references in that era were truly just done for fun.
Yeah, maybe they are doing a visual cue, but unless the two henchmen act in this certain way that those two actors did in the show, then
it is things like these are mainly just done to help you distinguish the two characters, and here the resemblance just helps along with that in a funny way.
Right.
Baby, where she played the adorable infant Baby Doll. Eventually, Doll would leave the show, citing creative differences, and set out on her own, with disastrous results. When she takes her former TV family hostage, she is doing it as a cry for help because she has suffered a mental breakdown, not because she's evil. Her life has not gone the way she had wanted it to, and she tries to recreate a happier time in her life when she was successful and adored. When Doll quit working...
Oh, when you snap like that and you turn evil, you are evil. She does it for evil reasons.
Yeah, we have
just because there's a tragic backstory behind it doesn't justify anything.
Yeah, I'd like to get some of the build up to this, because obviously she's 20, 30 years old, whatever. What did she do to acquire resources and get these men to be her henchmen, and whatever that lady in red was, her producer or whatever? So,
probably just the residuals from the show, I guess.
They have to be on board with whatever she wants. So this could just be her own little, I'm going to take some hostages and reenact my childhood way of dealing with whatever. But did she steal anything? Did she break the law aside from hostage? So I don't know.
I think usually the implication is she acquired everything legit, and then from there does this crap.
Yeah.
To become a serious dramatic actress, she picked a role that was entirely the opposite of Baby Doll. Lady Macbeth. Lady Macbeth is a callous Shakespearean figure that compelled her husband to murder the King of Scotland and take his crown. However,
a character by Shakespeare is Shakespearean.
Fine. Maybe she didn't watch the play. Who knows? I'm just glad she got the sentence right. Yeah, she's callous, and she coerced her Mr. Macbeth to kill the King of Scotland. It's like, yeah, you're right. That's what you did.
Take the guilt, and it is implied that she ends her own life, which foreshadows Baby Doll's scheme later on. Another thing that sets her apart is the way...
Because the idea is that she chose that role because she likes it, because she sees something of herself in it, because she is actually evil inside. Do not mistake the role she played on TV for who she truly is.
Yeah, we always do this in stories. You have a story within a story, and it either foreshadows something or implies something. It's like, okay, that's kind of on the nose. We don't have much time in 22 minutes to like, oh, no, she just liked Macbeth. She just liked the role. No, there's something else going on there. And if you don't know Macbeth as a kid, then you wouldn't be like, oh, what's this? Shakespeare? I've never heard of that. So I've been to so much Shakespearean plays. It's like, okay.
We have this effect constantly in the real world, where Captain Picard is a wonderful, insightful philosopher, in the series at least. But his actor, Patrick Stewart, is a deranged communist who is nothing like the character that he plays.
It's funny, though, because in the show...
Mark Hamill has currently gone off the deep end as well. Nothing like Luke Skywalker, though there probably was some of that at some point. This is a standard thing.
Yeah.
Never mistake the person in the role for who that person really is.
Well, that's what the producer does with, like, you look at Star Trek and you look at Jonathan Frakes and all the other, like, the guy who played Q, John Delancey, he was a trumpet player. So, okay, here's a trumpet. Jonathan Frakes was a trumpet or a trombone player. Here's a trombone. Patrick is the big name Shakespearean actor. Okay, we're going to give you a bunch of lines randomly throughout the episodes where you act bombastically and dramatically and recite Shakespeare. And it's like, okay, I could do that. So they're not stupid to use the skills that these people have. The problem is that I think Patrick Stewart was supposed to play a Frenchman, and they tried doing that the first season, and then they forgot about it. Oh yeah, he's a French guy. He has a French mother, and he swears in French. Oh no. Anyway.
Yeah.
See if this character that looks and looking for reference photo from my notes on this video, I found some not safe for work fan fiction that made me uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable because
Are you surprised?
How is that relevant?
Are you really surprised that
I'm
exists?
not.
I went on the internet and I was uncomfortable. Okay, that's great. Pick up any topic, you're going to find something. I just did a topic on this video. I did a search, and holy crap, did that make me uncomfortable for about 5 seconds. I turned away. So, yeah, honey, relax.
character as a child rather than an adult who just resembled a child. There's also
Because biologically speaking, she is a child. She is sexually immature. She is prepubescent. That makes her a child. That in this show she magically has a brain that developed into adulthood is beside the point. Because what you're making right now is the 5,000-year-old lowly vampire demon argument.
Or at least alluding to it. I don't know if she's actually making that.
And if you... How... So here's the problem. Like, if you do consider her an adult, then it would be... God, I hate to say this. Hypothetically speaking, then it would be okay to Rule 30 for her. However, she completely has the physique of a child. Prepubescent. Not like a 16-year-old anime girl with D cups. No, prepubescent. And that, no matter how you turn it, no matter how you spin it, will always look like child porn. Because it is the body of a child. Because it is the body that matters in these instances. And it is the body that matters to the pedophiles. It's not the age that matters to a pedophile. It's the developmental stage of the body. That is all. And that is why they're bad people.
Okay.
a minority of people that take situations and say that it's okay because she's an adult that only looks like a child. But this is repulsive and not something the character would appreciate.
Okay, this is... Why did she even bother with this line of reasoning?
Why'd you bring this up?
Yeah.
And how do you... Well, here's the next thing. How do you know what this character appreciates or not about a topic that never came up? Which is thin ice, I know. But there's an adult brain in there. That adult brain must be very, very frustrated. And we already know she's a psychopath, so who knows? Ugh.
There's fundamentally wrong with an adult showing this type of behavior. I'm not a psychologist, but even I can see the depravity in it.
Depravity of what? The character being a villain and being a criminal?
No. The character being looted.
So she's talking about this hypothetical of a thing she saw online. Oh my God. Can we get over this topic, please?
Well,
just stop talking about it. This is so silly.
She would have wanted the audience not bring her more pain by treating her like an object. It defeats the...
Well, what is she? She's a child that has allegedly an adult mind in it that is completely deranged.
And she wants to be an actor. So when we
Yes.
see a little
She also
girl,
wants to be an adult.
yeah, trying to play as Lady Macbeth, we're like, this does not make any sense. It does not compute. So this is not someone with dwarfism or any other condition. This is literally a child.
She did. Yeah, she literally physically did not age.
Yeah, and the special conditions of this character aside, Rule 34ing a character does not automatically mean objectification.
Yeah, this is a strange way of using that
For
word.
the pedophiles, probably. They probably do that, but in general, that's not the case. Because otherwise, all the teenagers in their prime who go to the beach to some island in the summer with their family, they would all be objectifying themselves by putting on swimsuits. How horrible.
In my opinion, Doll would have wanted to be seen as a person, not
Projection.
something people can objectify.
Okay, but she was a star in a sitcom where you do not see them as persons. You see them as stereotypes and characters in a farce or a comedy or whatever you would consider a sitcom in primetime 80s, 90s, where everyone could sit around at 7 o'clock at night and watch sitcoms, and they were funny and dramatic. And that was that. You didn't take it seriously. And there's plenty of shows that we've all watched. So we then see the actors after the show in interviews, and they're completely different. It's like, of course they're completely different. They're acting. We don't see them as people. They're not real. So
Yeah, and in the chat, Slicer Chat brings up a good point. When you do not like the lewd, you ignore the lewd. And with things like this, any sane person does that. Does not even think that there could be such stuff. Well, of course there is. But you wouldn't want to ruin your day with that. And it's like the wife of the channel owner here, for the first time, stumbled into the dark parts of humanity. Mind you, the people pushing this child sexualization stuff, the country they ran where I come from, as well as North Korea, they have naked family beaches for the excuse of, it's for culture. When really it is so that the socialist leaders can see naked children.
So
I'm not
anti-culture.
kidding. Yeah, but it's always the left.
Yep.
I think we can all agree that the main thing Doll needed was a great psychologist.
What she needed is some cure for her genetic condition.
this is like saying, we could treat the problem before it occurs. It's like, well, how do you know there's a problem then? Yeah, she has a genetic condition, but that doesn't mean she's going to commit crimes. So does that mean we, profile everyone before they leave grade school or whatever and say, okay, we're going to have you a meeting with a state-sponsored or state institutionalized psychiatrist or psychologist, and they're going to profile you, and they're going to figure out if there's anything, issues, this and that. It's like, then what? What if they find out she has the potential to be a psychopath? Then what?
Also, how dare you suggest that she should take conversion therapy to make her like her childlike form and just therapy away her age dysphoria?
Wouldn't this be an issue that you would deal with your family and having a talk with a counselor, not necessarily a psychologist, but like a job counselor or a future counselor, like something in school that you'd be like, okay, if this woman is 30 years old mentally or physically, like she's aged 30 years, not physically, but her body, then she must have gone through all these questions already. She must have gone through all of these life, okay, what do I do? What's my job? How do I live? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and realize that she can never have a normal life. And that can turn some people crazy. Some people just end themselves. And other people, well, they go off the deep end because a fuse burns.
Yeah, so there has to be, I mean, I don't know how deep this episode was. There has to be this progression from her leaving her show, trying her own thing, and then failing, and then the time frame from that to now, and how long was that, and what happened. And that needs to be filled in a little bit.
As good as the show was, the episodes, they were all not very deep, but because they had so little time.
Yeah.
Per episode.
There were a few.
But for that, for American writing in a cartoon in very, very tight time constraints, the stories were usually very, very well told. Which is also why you got some 2 or 3 episode stories. Like Clayface was a 2 episode, I think. That's where it really shines.
That's when they had the money.
Well, Heart of Ice is the de facto example, and that was just the single episode.
Yeah, but these things are usually they just go through the rough beats of what the story needs. There's very little ornamentation, let's say. There's no padding. There's just here's what happens. These are the things, and it is done surprisingly much through show don't tell for a kids show from America. So that is the high praise it gets, and that is why the stories feel more adult, more mature, because you can actually write that for children. Children are not so dumb that they can't understand these things. Children do actually understand what's on the screen.
Yeah. Why do you think the show is so revered in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly why.
One that could help her with her mental health and guide her to a life that was filled with meaning. But
how?
Just like in the real world,
How? What is your idea? Because you expect this magical thing from a therapist. This is a mistake that left-wingers and right-wingers both have. That therapy is this magical thing where you go into a room, magic happens, and you come out fixed according to their worldview. And that is not how that works. So you, who thinks that a therapist can magically conjure up some meaning for a life that is at the end of its wits of meaning.
Yeah, like imagine...
Like most men that end themselves. Dr. K had a great interview on Diary of a CEO where he talked about that, and then got a lot of flack from all the usual suspects because he dared say that, the men who all off themselves, they're not insane. They're not broken. Yeah. They're just at the end of what to do because they've gone through hell and now there's nothing left.
Yeah, imagine...
And society doesn't let them, and especially the left doesn't let them, regain anything. So they end themselves.
Yeah, in this case, imagine you were stuck in a child's body, like you were eternally 6 at best. What would you do? How would you live? What could you do? Your life is pretty much stuck. You cannot grow. In a world of adulthood...
You can't have a family. You can never have children.
I don't even know what you could do outside of anything that's a mental job or an academic job, maybe a managerial job. Like there's no...
You could crawl through pipes and pull cables like a ferret?
Like usually when we talk about therapy, there's all kinds of mental stuff, but there's a lot of physical stuff as well. We talk about exercise and meditation. And there's like, how would you exercise as a child effectively? Like I remember doing exercises growing up in gym class, but you're a kid, you can't do much. And if your body is never going to develop, yeah, you'll develop your muscles, but you're not going to be running any races. You're not going to be doing anything for something that an adult can do instantly. So there's a certain limitation that you have to go, okay, I cannot do, and I never will be able to do that. Once you accept that, and in this case, this lady would accept her physical life, which she seems to have done. She's just angry about it. if you've
because the acceptance, a radical acceptance of reality as it is, can only get you so far. It is an important thing, but radical acceptance is a term you usually use in narcissistic abuse for accepting that the narcissist is actually a narcissist and is crazy and is driving you crazy. So it's not you. But the importance is because you can interpret the words differently, and I have encountered leftists using the words exactly in the way that you would expect them to, which is that they want it as condoning the abuse, and because I'm a narcissist, so you have to just accept that. No, I don't. I don't. I can. It's just what's the I have to look up these two words all the time because I keep forgetting them. It's not it's just admission that the things are the way they are. It is not cheering for it's great that it is like that. Those are very different things.
I try to see this as, or this condition rather, as like a soldier returning from war with phantom limb syndrome or something along those lines, where they want to do something, they think they can, they can't. It's like you have to accept this part of your life, and you treat it like you would putting on a pair of socks or making dinner. It's just so routine. You have to make it seem that way, even though they're not used to it. So it's like, okay, I want you to do this, I want you to do that, and you're going to keep doing that for the next few weeks, and then you're going to keep living with it for the next few months, and then you're going to come back to me and say, how are you? It's like, oh, I don't even need to be here. I've gotten used to this. This is my life now. And that's the reality this person has to accept. Outside of that, everything else is ego and the issue with desire, that she clearly wants something and she's not getting in life. And once she accepts or disregards that desire, then she can go on another path. So yeah, therapy is great, but it only gets you so far, and you have to accept the physical reality of it.
Yeah, because think of it like the sharpshooter in World War II who got half his face blown off, but survived, and is wearing a wooden mask over half his face ever since.
Yeah.
You, the woman currently speaking here, you may want to tell him, oh, but you're still beautiful. You can tell him that 1,000 times a day. He's just going to punch you at some point, because what the fuck? That's not how that works.
That's fascinating.
You can't brainwash people into believing magical nonsense.
There's a book I can't remember I read about the economy of face masks after World War II, believe it or not, of people wanting specific kinds of porcelain masks because of the injuries they got. Interesting stuff. Anyway, back to the video.
Ignored by everyone. Once her fame settled down, so did the care and concern from the audience. Dull could have easily gone to a country where Lolita culture was popular.
What?
And made a very nice living.
What?
Yeah, and she would have been objectified the exact same way that you just resented.
What the hell is this? You could go to a place that people are interested in you as a child. Like, what? Excuse me?
You just had a problem with pedophiles. Now you tell her go to a pedophile country?
Wow.
What the fuck? Okay. I don't think you're insane. I think you are unbelievably ignorant. And through that ignorance, you say exactly the hurtful things that I just gave an example for with the wooden mouse.
Yeah, I think the thing she was looking for was, you can be a child model and you can make a living using your ailments as a positive.
Does she know what a Lolita cult means?
Yeah, that's a very she just put it the wrong way, and I'm sure she doesn't have negative intentions. But
I 100% believe that she's not a therapist. Thanks for the disclaimer. Also, never try to become one. Never, ever try to be emotionally supportive for anyone. That whoever you talk to like that, with your ideas, with your range of ideas, that person's more likely gonna jump off a bridge. or right out the window from in whichever room you are. So you better only, if you talk to anyone, do it on the ground floor.
Yeah, like imagine if this baby doll was stuck at 16, right? She looked like she was always 16. Yeah, she could be a model for all kinds of magazines.
Oh
That'd be
man,
fun.
how many women would kill for that?
Yeah, exactly. So if she said something along those lines, that'd be great. But don't move to a country where they're going to freaking sexualize you. That's kind of weird. That's the strangest thing. So
people objectify her in fan fiction. She should go to a country that appreciates her, like where they have Lolita cults. Like, you just said the same thing.
Anyway.
God.
Strange take.
Can't make it up. Can't make this up.
We know what she's trying to say, but the way that it came out is...
I know she means well, but holy shit.
Okay.
She wanted to do. She wanted to be a serious impact because of her talent, not her hypoplasia. I love how the only time you see Doll playing a character her age is in the clip of her performing as Lady Macbeth.
Yeah, but there's no time to show her other acting attributes in a 22-minute show, so, you know. That's...
I like the guy in the background with the frown. He's looked like, what is this?
From this caused her regression back to a child. You can see this regression when she starts using the catchphrases in her real life.
That's interesting. I don't remember the episode very well, but apparently those catchphrases she can't say the same way. Her voice could be different. So why is she using this recorder? I'm curious. So
for like the audience reactions from the sitcom.
It's not a laugh track.
Yeah, that's the canned laughter.
Yeah. Oh, it is canned laughter.
Yeah, one of the buttons is a laugh track.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. All right.
Like to simulate the sitcom.
Yeah. I thought it was like her buzzword or whatever, and she'd just play it. I was like, why don't you just say the buzzword?
Man, the Shogun remake needs a laugh track. Holy shit.
The way Batman handled Doll touching. He treats her as if she's a lost child. And
Well, then he's not treating her properly, is he?
He's also not wrong.
I know,
Because
but
mentally, yes, she may be 30. Yes, we see her psycho face when the mask slips. But overall, whoever's acting like a child deserves to be treated like a child.
oh dear. So Batman should kick her.
Bruce is just playing by the same rules at that point.
He's gonna punch her across the.
It's like as I keep saying with if you deal with a narcissist, one easy trick to figure out whether you're dealing with one. Imagine that person as a 3 to 5 year old instead of the adult that you see before you, and when the behavior fits the little kid instead, then you're dealing with a narcissist. There are other types of narcissists, but that is a big giveaway. And if a 3 to 5 year old would do those things to you, would you try to reason with the 3 to 5 year old, or would you be a bit more parental?
Yeah, in Batman's case, he would keep doing this until he got frustrated, and then he'd keep ramping it up.
Mm-hmm. Like a good parent.
Combined with the fact that the event that defined him was when he was roughly that age. So that's another detail in there.
If only everyone would have treated her this way. Baby Doll reminds me of a lot of people I've come across.
Yeah, is that before or after she abducted them and forced them to do what she wants?
Everybody's supposed to cater to her feelings. You two are emotionally immature. Also, here, this is she showed a good clip here, because for a second we see her mask slip. See this one here?
Baby Doll reminds
that. This is her real face. All this acting, she's not regressing into the child state. That's just the role she plays to get her dopamine rush.
Because that was the point where she was at her most, happy, and she wants to go back to that.
Yeah,
because that's how she's finding. That's the way she found to cope.
Yeah, because really inside she is the dour, sour, mean callous adult psychopath.
Yeah, because most actors will realize this is just a part that I got, and I was lucky to get it, and I couldn't get the next one, and now I'm frustrated, and now I don't know what to do, and we don't know the time frame. So was she holding a grudge for 20 years? Like, what was she doing? So there's something going on that I'd like some details. It's not that complicated a story, though, so I don't expect much.
Yeah, the thing is what... So the woman who's talking here, she's calling for compassion for this character, when really all she gives her is pity. The little immature, decrepit, inbred cousin of compassion. And that is how you are led astray.
I'm curious, is this person in the background kind of, what was that, that Batman, was it Batman v Superman? I can't remember the animated version, Legends of the Dark Knight.
BBS or what?
Yeah, it's where the Joker had his own therapist, and the therapist was always like defending the Joker. Oh, he's a changed man, blah, blah, blah. I'm wondering if that's the same scenario here where this producer chick or whoever she is.
The producer, she's just doing her job for being paid.
Just henchwoman, yeah.
Okay.
If she can, if Baby Doll's money runs out, this woman is gone.
Yeah, they all three of them are, her and the two guys.
People I've come across in my life, the help they desperately need, they wind up in the criminal system. It's really quite sad that a lot of us...
That they're a criminal and they wind up in the criminal system? No, that's what's supposed to happen. That's good. That's a good thing.
Because they didn't get enough hugs. Hugs don't solve this. Hugs are not going to solve her getting over her condition.
Yeah, it's really...
Not being able to have a normal life.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that we say after that, oh, it's really sad we have all these criminals. It's like, well, no, it's they decided to become criminals for whatever reason. That's the sad part. Why did that happen? That's what you have to ask. And you may find out it's nothing sad at all. It could be extremely needy. It could be extremely selfish. It could be just because they needed to survive. There's lots of reasons. So I wouldn't jump the gun and say, oh, it's so sad. If only she got the help she needed. Like, how do you know she needed help? You don't poke around like, oh, are you okay? Can I help you? It's like, I know a therapist. Like, all right, get the hell away from me, you weirdo. What are you doing?
I find it's interesting because she gives a good example of what is wrong on the left in regards to therapy with gender dysphoria, where the left tells, oh yeah, you need to like your condition, like, but I want a normal life. And where the right wants you also to accept things the other way around, but then you still have the condition which slowly drives you nuts and into an early grave. So in a situation where there is no good option either way, we get these crazy people who believe therapy and hugs are this magical thing that make you choose life over, no, I'm out. Because there are no good options and anything, normalcy. Baby Doll wants normalcy in the end. So yes, being hooked to the one good time in her life, that's the most human thing you could expect. But she is not this channel here is not offering a solution.
All right, here's Threadnought. Thank you, sir, for the 10. That is 10 pounds, not 10 Canadian, which is like, $50. Not super knowledgeable about Batman, but going by the thumbnail at least, compassion, I thought the main issue of the character was her being unable to let go of her glory days. That's certainly part of it. And I think there's a lot going on. Unfortunately...
Yeah, I think it's more that it's the only good time in her life.
And the only time when she was successful, this was good financially, this was good personally. She wanted to be an actor, she wanted to do serious roles, and it's kind of tough.
Her condition worked to her advantage.
In that regard, yeah, it's kind of tough to jump from comedy to drama as an actor unless you have the skill. But part of acting is visual. And if you don't look the part, There's only so much makeup and wardrobe can do.
I mean, in the hypothetical situation, child actors are difficult to work with, and this would be a director's dream come true, because you would have somebody who looks like a child, but whom you can instruct like an adult.
All right.
We know of some to be under the supervision of a doctor. I'm not saying all criminals would be reformed because of treatment.
Arkham Asylum is literally an asylum.
Yeah,
it has therapists.
We're past,
even though some of them turn crazy.
We have.
I was going to say no. It's not. It's a revolving door.
Well, we have a prison system, and then we have Arkham. Like this is a step up from just we have inmates. So you have
This is way
Arkham
beyond.
Is just playing above its league. That's
this is way beyond the jurisdiction of Blackgate. Let's just start from there.
Yeah, anytime you have a institution focused on specialized cells for all kinds of crazy people, it's not just physical. There's all kinds of other psychologists running around trying to figure these people out because of the nature of Gotham. And Gotham required Arkham. It needed something like it to exist, or else we have a.
It's to such a point where when the asylum shut down originally, decades ago, when after Amadeus died, it's like they put an Arkham wing into Blackgate until the actual asylum reopened.
Yeah, either we have an actual place like this, or we change the laws where we have to kill all of our crazy lunatic people. So it depends on the jurisdiction of the city. So the buildings constitute that behavior of the population.
In the animated series, I know Harley had a few relapses, but didn't she in the end get over Joker and become normalish again?
Pretty much, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah, cured. I mean, she also turned crazy in Arkham, but she also got around again.
It's kind of funny because she is a PhD in psychology, so it's like she knows what's wrong, she knows what to do, and so okay, I just need to talk to.
And then somehow she forgets how buying things works over just walking out with all the stuff.
It's kind of funny because if you studied for 10 years to get a degree in anything, especially psychology, you'd be like, oh, okay, we studied psychopaths, we studied this and that. I don't care. I really like the Joker. I'm going to do crazy shit with him. It's like, really?
I can fix him.
Okay.
I can fix him.
And then for her to be reformed is like, well, obviously there's something going on. She's not stupid. But the movie version of her makes her look like an airhead, unfortunately.
Some people could be professional behavior with the correct treatment. With all of that being said, I want to end this video on a more positive note.
Yeah, look, okay, yeah. You are not in the field. You haven't studied it. You do not know that narcissists and psychopaths cannot be cured. Borderliners also not. That whole cluster B thing is like toxic waste. You can only lock it away. We let them run around until they do shit, and then we are still too soft on them.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Remember that study that came out, was it a few years ago, that the guy studying psychopaths scanned his own brain and discovered he was a psychopath? And
that's funny.
And the only thing that prevented him from being a psychopath was the fact that he studied it and he was disciplined and kept helping people. Yeah. He was too busy doing anything else.
Yeah, there are. I do not want to break a lance for psychopaths. I know at least one who is not evil, because he doesn't know he's a psychopath. But he told childhood stories of how he was a kleptomaniac and kept stealing in the store, and
interesting.
Then eventually was disciplined by the police chief, and years later, his mother told him the police chief was out of his mind, because no matter what he had done, like things with hard criminals, that child never responded to anything.
Yeah.
And it was only so he kept on stealing, and so the police chief was at wit's end. And at around 8, when he was in the toy aisle, he said he had an epiphany, and that was, well, I always get into trouble when I steal shit and get caught. So I'd prefer to have a life without trouble, so I won't steal anymore. And so he stopped. It was a completely cold, logical decision. And that's the only reason why he's not evil. He's still an asshole, but he's not evil. Because he decided for himself, I want a life without trouble, so I will abide by the rules. Ugh. If that doesn't scare you, I don't know.
God damn.
By telling you what I liked about this episode. Batman. Of course, the thing I love most about this is Batman. How could it not be? A crime-fighting vigilante who knows that instead of kicking and punching Baby Doll, he allows her to express her feelings before calmly disarming her, placing his hand on her shoulder and leading her away.
Now, don't you know that it's stupid to fight in a mirror labyrinth?
Yeah, you gotta be Bruce Lee about these things. You gotta allow the villain to figure out where the hell you are first.
Yeah, and waste all the bullets.
And then drop kick them.
It's the fact that Bruce knew that she needed that moment to vent like that, to get it all out.
I think
it's
that
as simple
just
as
comes
that.
together.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure to do this little mini essay. It's not long, but I think I got my thoughts across. Don't forget to like.
Fair enough.
No.
Yes,
no.
and thank you for not making a good point.
She's applauding herself.
Oh, there's more. I'm just gonna skip ahead.
It's got to be plugs and shit. Yeah, there you go. End card.
All right.
Oh, you Spellbinder. That might be a doozy.
Interesting. I mean, not a bad topic of discussion. I don't remember the.
But not a
She's
bad
just
topic
as
of
good at
discussion. Just doesn't say much.
I don't like the idea that if only we went to therapy. It's like, if only this had a proper childhood. If only they had a proper parentage. If only they went to the proper school. If only it's like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. If all kind. I would recommend everyone have a great chef, a great doctor, a great psychologist, a great neighbor. Yeah, I recommend all these things during your childhood. That's a great idea.
Where do you find those?
Yeah, I mean, if only these people had a good whatever. Yeah.
You can only play the hand you're dealt with. You can't just hit the reset button and then create new character and start new game over and over.
Yeah.
That's what the people who off themselves do. They try the reset button, because why not?
Yeah, I don't think, as Whisp was saying, the requirements for criminal behavior is not precluded on getting good therapy. It's not
Some
magic.
people are just assholes.
Yeah, if you are resorting to violence or coercion and hiring thugs, it's like, yeah, you've thought this through. You've premeditated everything. You've already gone through the steps.
You built a gun into your doll.
Yeah.
And if the bullets come out one of the eyes, yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty ingenious. You are not just a simple child actor who's now 30. You are a mastermind.
You're an actual villain.
Yeah.
The only thing is keeping you from being a super villain is superpowers.
Pretty much. All right. Do we have any memes, guys? I don't know. We're gonna
A
check.
handful.
Okay.
Hope not.
We'll find out.
Well, unfortunately, we do. So stick it.
Because I fear what people may post.
Yeah. All right. What we got here?
Starting with, if I can read the name, Skorholm. however you pronounce it. I apologize.
All right. Thinking about this episode where Batman's villains actually were the rigged jury for his mock trial and how they still honestly ruled in his favor because somehow facts mattered. That's great.
Contrary to O.J. Simpson.
Not somehow. The facts do matter.
Playing Arkham City, turn on anti-aliasing. Everyone still calls him Batman instead of Bruce. Har.
I don't get that, and I've played the game multiple times.
Well, everyone knows
Alias.
Yeah, everyone knows what. In visual terms, anti-aliasing is the technique of blurring the pixels of the edges.
I get the joke now. For fuck's sake.
Right.
The aliasing, yeah. Har. Now I'm like Smud. Har.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Batman be like, no talk.
just because of how the ragdoll in the early games are so whack.
After I removed your spine.
I'm just like, and then in Arkham Origins is the funniest of it all because there's a takedown where you jump up into the air, throw batterings at anyone that's knocked down on the floor. Sometimes they can just go flying into the air. At some point, I gotta when I replay the Arkham games again, I gotta get a clip of that so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Non-lethal flying through the air.
All right, here we go.
That's just the ragdoll going whacked out.
More 4chan. Be Bruce Wayne. Parents get shot. Become wimpy emo kid. Disappear for 2 years. Come back effing jacked for 2 years. It was more than 2 years. When he comes
at least
when he comes back, the Batman starts hitting Gotham immediately. Batman has literally never been seen with Bruce Wayne.
Also, not immediately in the DCAU. It's a while after he comes back from his world tour of training and shit. That way after that he becomes Batman, as we see in Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, I don't know what the joke is here.
Like all the stuff with Andrea, that's after he comes back from his training and stuff.
Take your meds, schizo. That's the connection.
So I guess maybe that's someone trying to put it together that Batman is Bruce Wayne and then someone else calling them crazy. I don't know.
Boss, that's harassment. So what are you gonna do? Go to the union? What?
I don't get that one either.
She's grabbing her boob.
I can fix him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is this Invader Lum?
Yes.
Fix them. Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, with electrical pulses. That's how you're gonna fix him. Just shock him into loving you.
Hey, where's Electrocutioner at?
The world is a safer place tonight.
Cereal toilet clogger sentence. What the fuck?
Oh,
That is a disabled toilet
that's a.
with the rails on the side. That's for disabled people.
That's even worse. How dare they?
I physically want to know what the hell this is. What is going on? All right, we got. Oh my God, what are these characters?
They all have borderline.
What's with the faces? They're weird.
Yeah, they all have the borderline smile.
There is Harleen.
That's a stupid name.
Harleen.
Yeah, that's just her name. It's like, okay, and what's your point?
Not exactly a meme, but anyway, that's it. Fantastic, easy peasy. Not a hard video to cover. A bit silly, but not hard.
This thread not telling me at the end.
I feared worse, to be honest, but then I
wasn't
didn't want to think about it really.
I wasn't expecting his wife or whatever. I thought it was going to be him,
Yeah.
and she did the whole thing.
I mean, actually, there is another video that he did, which I can only assume is the main video.
Oh no.
Well, I think we have enough for this gentleman and his family. Thank you.
At least for a while, yeah.
Yeah, wasn't horrible, wasn't great, but that's okay. It didn't drive me crazy. That's
Yeah,
good.
it was just an ignorant woman.
That's
It's
good.
just babble about something she thinks she knows about, but it's not.
Yeah,
She knows
yeah.
jack.
She's led by her emotions into stupid ideas and stupid answers and stupid things. The perfect voter for somebody who wants to mislead her by pulling on her emotional heartstrings.
Your
I mentioned
typical,
Whoever
Blue
she
shit
votes
for no
for
reason.
is the wrong party.
Yeah.
and then mentioning the loot shit for no reason.
That was
What does that have to
unnecessary.
do with it? That was pointless.
I went online and I did not like it. Like, okay. What?
That's you. Anyway.
Thanks.
Also, she should go to a country where she's appreciated by a Lolita couple.
That is the first time I've ever heard anyone say that about Baby Doll. I'm just like,
Oh.
bruh, move on from this, please.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with it.
Very- Very strange take. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. That was Relaxing Friday. Hope you have a good one. We'll talk to you tomorrow. If not, we'll see you soon next week. Good night.
Good night.
And remember, she didn't mean to.